Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So, now I am now your reporter for today, and this is the continuation about the report of teacher Miranda. So, this is a teaching English in elementary through literature. So, my topic is all about giving examples of selections, stories, riddles, and poems suitable for literacy development among young learners. Before everything, we are just going to uh, read the key points about literacy development. How does the literacy develops our learning of everybody's learners, or the developments of everybody's learner, or the children. So first, literacy development is a vital part of your child's overall development. So not just in reading or in speaking, but it is stated here that it is an overall development. So meaning the 5 macro skills are um, reached with this through this literacy development. So second, activities like talking, yes, singing, reading, storytelling, drawing, and writing helps to develop your child's literacy. So not just the 5 macro skills, as we can read or as we can hear that there is the storytelling. So not just simply in reading, but in storytelling, it also helps our children in drawing. It also helps to develop your or our child's literacy development. So for the babies or the younger children, we can try the nursery rhymes, of course, as listening through a YouTube, an example or a music of a nursery rhymes, sound games. Through this, our babies, our younger learner, our toddlers, they can speak easily. They can, by just humming, by just listening, they can understand. There is this communication, there is this comprehension about the music that it is being played. There is this uh, learning from the simply listening to the music. So and a playing also in a I spy rather, and books with rhyme. So simply reading in the books with rhyme, with rhythm and repetition, it helps your or our children or our babies and younger children to learn or to develop the literacy skills. And also for school children, when we say school children, this ages is from 6 to 12. So it is in the primary school. So to look for words in billboards. So in this ages or this level of understanding, this level of or stages of the students or the learners, by simply letting them or asking them to look for the billboards, the signs of the supermarkets or the items. In this way, we are encouraging them to write the words. I mean, to uh, comprehend, and also to encourage them to write simple words. So it is a part also of developing the literacy skills of the students. So in just by just looking of the billboards, the signs of the roads, the supermarket items, also it helps the developments of the literacy skills in every child or the learner. And also by encouraging them to write some simple words. So by looking at the billboards, for example, by looking at the billboards or the items or an object, you are going to, or we are going to ask the child to write a simple word that it is coming from the object that a child or a learner na nakita niya. So encourage them to write in simple words. So in this way, we are by simply encouraging the learner, we know that it is part of, or we are trying to develop their uh, comprehension or their writing skills, their reading skills. And keep on reading. So in keeping on reading, so of course, by just simply encouraging the child to write the words, it is one of the developments, or one of the, yes, the development of literacy skills. So of course, in reading. So by reading some new information that it is being acquired of every learner. So let's go to the next page. Okay, so about the literacy activities. So literacy development is important for your child's overall development. So literacy is the foundation for doing well at school. Yes, of course. It is being called a foundation. Why? Because by simply encouraging them to write, to write, it is one of the requirement to every learner to know better when he or she is going to the school, and also socializing with others. So in socializing with others, so nakikipaghalubilo yung bata. So meaning, there is this contact, there is this communication. So the communication, it will help the students or the learners to comprehend, to communicate, to say the words, to say the new words or the new things, to learn more, or to learn new things from each peer groups, or in every not just in peer groups, but in every a wide groups or many groups that they are with. So also in problem solving. So for example, in a classroom, there is this problem. The the students can communicate, or can send information to the teacher if there is a problem. So if there is a problem in the classroom, the students can state to the teacher, and in that way, they are solving the problem. They are um, they are trying to explain or express their ideas about the fact or the problem. So they can make decisions. By making decisions, they are going to also express and say the word that they wanted to say. So they are now going to become how to become independent. So they are molding, or we are, through this, by speaking, by writing, we are through cooperations, through collaborations, a children or a child will be developed or will be molded to become independent and managing money and working. So that was in the future. Talking, singing, playing sound and word games, reading, writing, and drawing with your child are great ways to lay a good literacy foundation. So, that is yung sinabi ko kanina. The great news in that everyday activities like family, meals, bath, time, or shopping are all fun opportunities for literacy development. Yes, because so if a family, or they have their activities about running or playing, there is this communication. So in communication, you can help the learner or the child to talk, to explain, to express their feelings. So there is this contact. So that is needed in everyday life of every family or every friends or any. So in family meals, we can talk. So by talking, so asking something about the matters from the school or any, the family or the students, the childrens can express, also can explain. So the parents are encouraging them to speak. building the development of the literacy skills. And also, so in shopping, in bath time, so always we are communicating. So that is why. And it is fun opportunities for literacy development. So of course, in everything in our everyday activities, that is one of the fun opportunities for literacy development in every person or every learner. So, and you don't need a lot of time for literacy activities. So yes, because in learning or in literacy activities, it's just the communication. There should be a communication. So in that way, the speaking, the writing, the skills that is being developed will follow. Okay, 5 minutes of or a few times a day is often enough. Yes, by just speaking, simply speaking, it will lend a it will lend an idea of everybody. So in 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, by just asking, you are trying to develop the comprehension skills of everybody. The key is to use different times and opportunities to help your child learn. So there should be this random ways or different ways to help your children learn, not just kumbaga dili siya balik-balik, just like in reading. So you can let the child or your brother, your sister to read it second times or three times around kay masumhan man sila. And then it can be as simple as writing and shopping list together. So again, it can be as simple as writing or shopping list together. So listing, what do you want to buy? Okay, what do we want to buy? What do we need to buy? So we're going to put, oh, here, the cream. Oh, you try to write the cream, the word cream. So in that way, you are trying to um, help your brother, your sister, or your children to develop the writing skills, or and also their uh, 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 reading skills. It can, yes, playing a rhyming game or reading story before bed. So that is the most popular in our homes, that in every bedtime there is this story reading. Okay, next, let's go to the next one. So babies, toddlers, and preschoolers literacy activities. So these are the babies, toddlers, and preschoolers literacy activities. Talking and singing also, again, activities with young children helps them to develop listening and speaking skills, as well as use rhyme whenever you can. So kanindot magud paminawon with rhyme. So just like beautiful life with a beautiful kind of wife. So mas dali nila masabtan. So in rhyming words. So mas ganahan sila maminaw. And use phrases like snug in a bag in a rag, or make up rhymes about things you're doing. For example, putting fish in the cat's dish. Or sing nursery rhymes with a child. Nursery rhymes teach your child language. Of course, rhyme, repetition, and rhythm. You could try Baba, Black Sheep, have you any wool? So that is the song, the one of the popular song in nursery rhymes. That, and also this Miss Polly had a dolly, la 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 la. So these are also the another example of the nursery rhymes. And this ABC song or the alphabet song, and we can repeat sounds to your child, make up sounds, see whatever your child can copy them. So for example, is a moo moo, there's a moo moo there. So you if you were going to let your brother, your sister, or your children to copy the sounds, you are testing or trying or developing them how to, or you are encouraging them how to read. So by simply following the sound like moo moo there, oh, so sa inana lang kasi yun, dali nimo sila matudluan. And then Yes. And also you can, if you can say moo, if they don't know how to sing, you just ask to say them, to say it, the word. You will ask your children or your sisters and brothers to say the word moo or anything. Basta nag-encourage sila kung saan pagbasa, you are helping them. So at meal times, again, at meal times, talk about the food you are preparing. So by simply talking like baby or brother, sister, this is our meal. So our meal in every dinner, in every breakfast, we eat rice. So this white one, this is what we call the rice or kanon. That in a simple ways, so we are telling them, or we are letting them to learn. So sa inana lang sa mga kasimple ng mga buluhad ton. And then what you are doing to eat or how it tastes. So it tastes like this. The coffee or the milk is sweet and creamy. So that, and the food is uh, like the bitter gourd is bitter. So bitter gourd is bitter. So you should tell them in simple words. Kay dili man gud diha dali-dali na tumamold in students, no? So we should go down deeper muna bago mag-up para hindi mahirapan yung bata. So from simply asking, from simply letting them to follow, dali na rin na nila ma-remember by that time sa every kuan inadlaw-adlaw nga mga doings. And talk about objects outside the house. So for example, the rustling of leaves. So kanang when we say rustling of leaves, kanang pag-wave sa mga dahon, sa kanang mura siya naghagurus ba. And or the sounds of the birds or traffic. So you asked. So kay babies, like mga babies pa jud kaayo sila, no? When we say toddlers is kanang mga 1 to 3, I think. But babies, katulad yun ng down 9 months, mga yun, ana. So, sa mga yun, ana, is we can still let them learn by just simply, padunggon sila mga sounds. Like sa birds, sa mga music, ng mga nindot paminawon, dili siya saba kaayo lang po kay baby pa man. And ask your child to make the sounds for it. And ang iba gani is kanang the kanang mga pregnant mother, they're going to talk their babies inside the kaning womb. Kay para og sila panindot daw ang development sa brain sa baby. If something na pa siya sa tiyan sa mama, is there is this kanang communication. So play games also like I Spy using colors. So kaning I Spy with my little eyes, something that's pick the green one, or what is the green one nga akong nakita. So that is at the same time they're learning, and then malingaw pag yun sila. So mas nindot may inan activities kaysa sa boring. So wala ta kabalo, wala sila kabantay that we are learning the eye. They are learning. Di kayo ta kabantay, no? Nagkuan na din sila, nag-develop na din sila in assembly activities that we are doing every day and every minute. So next is reading and book-based activities. Reading and book-based activities is reading with children develops their vocabulary, of course. So by reading, children develop. Why it will develop? It is because by simply reading, we or the children can acquire new words. So that will add up. So for example, mangutan na bitaw, uy, na ako'y I have a word nga bag-o na akong nadungog. So that is the word. So unsa ka na siya, no? I want to know what is that word. So that word, if ever ma-remember, mapangutanan niya in his or her sisters, sa iyabang parents, mommy, daddy, what is that? What is that? So for example, you say familiar naman sa mga students ang moingon og kanang she's pretty, she's beautiful. So how about ka na makadungog siya og gorgeous rather, gorgeous. So si student or si young learner maguno na siya unsa ka na ano, I really don't know that, and I am very curious to know that what is the meaning of that word. So mako na siya ako kani for example ilaha ba kahang research or mangutana ba ka sa so gorgeous is mura ra po na siya kanang family food or relative sa beautiful. So murag mas grabihan siya kag gwapa o unsa ba diha ang mga kon. So bag-ong adding sa iyahang vocabulary, new learning na pud sa bata. Okay, that is gorgeous. So in ana din siya, you are gorgeous mommy. So in ana, so ability to listen and understand. Kay kung ang bata, if imo lang yung lantawon no, kung magbasa ka, then imo silang pasabton og ayo, ang bata, ang attention, makuha nimo, ang makuha pud nimo ilang abilidad how to listen carefully and understand the word. Kung ingon ana lang jud ang pagbasa, tudluan nato sila. We have to encourage them in reading. So ingon ana. And the ability to connect sound and words. So in ana man na siya no. If the teacher or anybody that is the one that is reading, kung dili sila kabalo mo connect sa words and how to express it correctly by just lain man pud kung magbasa lang nga magnganga or mag lamya kayo mo basa ba dili man pud may pa ang mga bata dili ganahan maminaw. So it is better to read, or the reader must read it in a good sound, in a perfect rhyme or in perfect intonation. So kay ang bata nindot pud ang nindot paminaw sa dulugan, nindot pud ang kuan sa bata, ang pagpaminaw. So mura siya mainganyo, ay kanindot sa story, it is because the teacher, our teacher reads it in a very good way. So na-express gyud what is the kanang giistorya sa story, or what is kanang the emotion is being expressed by the teacher or the reader. So it also helps the children learn about the world around them, of course. Your child might like this activity. So try books with rhyme again. So again, ingon ani lang ni siya, no? Rhythm and repetition. So many young children enjoys books like 10 Little Fingers. Yes, 10 Little Fingers, and also katong 10 Little Toes, katong Harry McClary by Lindy Dodd, and The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson. So dili lang kayo ni siya maurani, but daghan pa jud kaayo, no, kanang mga kanta-kanta like aning 10 Little Fingers na. But maud na siya mga usa sa mga kanang maka-trigger to get the attention of every learner, no, kay nindot man siya paminaw. Then ganan man gud pud mostly ang mga estudyante og kanang mga kanta-kanta, rhyme nga mga words. So kay wala siya dili boring basahon ba. So encourage your child also to turn the pages and talk about what they see. Of course, kanina siya, no, mas nindot gani kaayo tong bata. Naman jud ubang bata pud bisan dili sila encourage, no, that they are very kanang kusog kaayo mangutana ba. They are very kanang mga batang curious bitaw kaayo, no, nga what is this, what is that. So mo lang na permente, pero mas maayo gyud og naay mga bata nga dili ingon. So encourage gyud nato, no, ato ang mga sister or ato ang mga brother nga ingon ana dapat ang ilahang pamaagi pa. Kay basta ingon ana ang bata man gud is curious sila ma-learn, so they will learn more and more and more. Grabe pa jud ang ilang kahibalo nga maabot basta ingon ana taog kanina ang mindset. And use your finger to guide your child's eyes from left to right across the page of your read and point out certain words or phrases. So by that, simply telling them the left, then the right page, the left page, the right page, they will definitely know kung where is the left and where is the right. So, dili ta kabantay mo inana, nag-learn na dahil sila. So, from that way, nag-learn na dahil sila where is the left and what is the opposite of the left, which is the right. So, next is for babies and toddlers also includes lift the flap books or touch and feel books. So, mas nindot yun makita or mabasa or makita or ma-feel nila ang mga libro. So you can even make your own book to objects your child to like look and touch. So for example, you are explaining something or the object that you are trying to explain to your sister or to your brother. So mas tindot na makita or matouch nila to feel that is the texture of this thing. So in ano siya shiny, magaspang dahil siya, no? So they would know kung unsa di na inanang klase sa mga textures. And next is to encourage your child to take the lead with reading. So of course, for example, where do we start from? So from simply asking them to read a book. So where do we start? From where? From at the back or at the front? So of course they're going to answer at the front because this is the starting page. So from simply doing that one, we are encouraging them to understand which part should be started or where the starting point. So every so often, stop reading and ask your child what they think will happen next. So that is the best way. So no, maka-remember man to na every teacher pag story reading na sila or mag-storytelling na sila, they are going to pause and they're going to ask the learners unsa nagali ang sunod, what would be the next happening in their life. So ang mga naminaw magud na mga bata is very yes teacher, ang sunod na I know kana ingon ani na siya, ingon ato na siya. It is because the teacher is going to getting the attention of every learner kung naminaw ba sila or kanang gitry og uga ni teacher ang ilang kanang ideas nga unsa kay sunod ani no aha sila nakasabot baka sila unsa kay sunod, mas nindot man gud na kay maka-express sila, ay teacher the next is this one, then ang mahitabo sunod is this one also teacher, I guess ana. So mas ma-enjoy pud sila. Link books with real life. So nindot ang real life, no? Kay in real life say for example na experience ni learner, so they can express much, no, with their if they are asked to. So for example, if you read a book about playing in the park, you might like to take your child to the local park and point at swings that look like the ones in the book. So it is also kanang magbasag book nga about playing the park. So pwede po nato sila dalon into the park para makita nila nga ingon ani ang nahitabo sa book, no, nga atong gibasa. And encourage your child also to act out the story. So that is why, no, sometimes or di lang sometimes, no, always na gining role playing or kanang playing in a theater ba, kanang magdrama bitaw. It is also a learning. So for example, kanang mag-express bitaw og kanang mga real stories nga kanang mga emotions. So they're going to express to learn also. So kana siya nag-trigger gyapon na siya or naghatag gyapon na siya learning sa mga estudyante. And for example, you can ask your child to hop. So for example, ingon ani ka simple lang. So can you hop like like the rabbit or the kangaroo in the book? So you are asking them to act out or kanang sa dinagkuay ng mga kuan kanang mag-role playing na. So for example, sa mga babies, sa mga gagmay pa, so simply jumping or hopping. So yun ana na maka-account na sila nga wala dili kay nato makita but naka-learn na sila by just saying okay, can you hop? So mo hop sila gamay. So sa ingon ana nga paagi, we know nga they are learning. Nakabalo na sila nga, ay, hop is ingon ani siya gamay lang pag-amba. Follow your child's lead with reading. Encourage your child, do not push them. Okay, so this is the best. Dili kayo takabantay, no? Follow your child's lead with reading. So okay kayo nga we are going to encourage them to read, but not to push them. So if they don't, kaya mga bata magud most is mga lazy na sila. Kung pulaan na sila basa balik-balik, puul gid na sa ilaha. Wala na sila ipaki kung kuan. So dili lang slowly, mo na giingon gani, slowly but surely. So, slowly, you're dragging them to learn, to read, to learn. So, until mag-follow na dayon to siya, dili lang siya ingon ana. But dili siya ingon ana kadili, but then nindot ang process sa iyang learning. So, experiment with different books to see what your child's like and just have fun. So, dili man good, mas nindot man good si teacher, no? Dili lang, pwede man po si teacher mag-choose, but then, mas nindot tong i-assess yun, ay, kinsay gusto ninyong basahan about the story. Ay, teacher, ganahan, minikuan, kinindot ng story. Muna mga fantasy, kay fairy tales, kay. So, ang bata, ang attention sa bata, puno kaayo. Dili lang ingon si teacher magbuot, bisan boring si teacher, gibasa ni teacher. So the learning of the students, ang attention sa students is 100% yun. So masulod sa utok kung unsay isay ni teacher. And let's go to the next. Drawing and writing literacy activities. So mo ni mga drawing and writing literacy activities. So scribbling or kanang mga pagdudol-dudol lang, sulat-sulat o murag bitag wiris-wiris in drawing helps your children develop fine motor skills. So when we say fine motor skills, by simply writing or doodling, nalihok ang ginagmay nga mga muscles. So, fine motor skills are smaller actions. That is the smaller actions, which like writing, holding small objects, buttoning. By just buttoning, it's also an example of the smaller actions. Turning pages, cutting, cooking, pwede po siya, no? O sahay. Kay ginagmay naman siya, no? And computer keyboard by clicking. So, yun ana, apila siya sa fine motor skills. No, here, writing pencils and penslators childhood. It also helps children to understand that writing and pictures have meanings and you use them to communicate information, of course. So there are some activities to try. So encourage your child to add a scribble or drawing on birthday cards or letters. Encourage your child to try some letters or write their name on all their artwork. You can write out letters in one color and ask your child to trace them in one color. So, pwede po na siya. Help your child use Play-Doh to make the letters of the alphabets or numbers. So, dili man gud sila pud ganahan. Seryoso kayo ba? Mas ganahan sila like kanang apilan pud nato og mga dula-dula pareha na mga magdulag Play-Doh Play-Doh to make the letters of the alphabet or numbers. So, ganahan sila mo cooperate. Give your child opportunities to use letters of the alphabet in different forms. So on blocks, magnetic letters, and it's stick in the fridge, and puzzle pieces. Pwede po na siya ingon, anak, kamurag maamay sila ba kay bagong idea na po or pamaagi. Cut out or draw pictures of basic household items like chairs, table, TV, wall, door, and so on and so forth. Then write the items' names on separate pieces of paper. Ask your child to match. So, dili jud na siya mawala, no? Matching colors, matching the names of the items or the objects, dili jud na siya mawala. By simply doing this kind of activities is to know if the students kanang kabalo ba siya unsa ning item or object, no? Para makabalo siya insakto yung pangalan niya sa item or sa object. So inana siya kasayon lang pero dako na kay siya tabang in every children or in every child to learn. So encourage also your child to tell you about their drawing. So help your child write down the words that they use. So of course, no, if they are asked to draw what they for example, what they want to be in the future or what do you want to buy. So why you draw this one? What is the purpose? What do you want? It is teacher, it is because I want to become a doctor in the future. I draw this one because this is my desire in the future. So yun ana, ganahan kayo ko na teacher because I want to become a doctor, or unsa pa na gusto ko car kaya I want to buy that one in the future, teacher. So yun ana, no, by simply asking them about their drawings, telling about the drawings, so they are expressing their ideas. They are trying to communicate. They are speaking. The speaking skills is developed. So, yun ana siya. And encourage your child to write letters to their family and friends. Also, For younger children, these letters might look like scribbles. Yes, you can get your child to tell you what it says so that you can write the words underneath. Encourage friends and family to write back. So, ingon ana siya. Para ma-develop ang drawing and writing literacy, maunto siya ang mga activities. And next, school age children, excuse me, literacy activities. So talking activities. So when we say school age again, this is 6 to 12 ages. So play word games that encourage your child to learn sounds. For example, I spy with a little I, something beginning with the F. So what do you think I'm looking at? It starts with the sound. So F, so mangita sila F. And then also ask your child about words that rhyme. For example, what other words sound like a car? So um, car teacher. So yun ana siya no. Simple lang kay siya pero dali kay siya. How about ito like example la inapod na another word na pod. Okay. Next, ask your child to make a sound or sound combination. So then think of a word. What is that sound for? And for example, what is a funny sound? Mo. So what sound can you make with a mo? So mon, mop, mot. So that is. Talk about the past also. As your child to tell you something that they enjoyed at school that week. So by simply asking them, you're letting them to communicate. You are developing their speaking skills. Everything that is in that is in communication. Talk about the future also. Tell your child what you are going to do on the next day on a weekend, or ask your child to tell what they need to do before bed. So, give your child simple instructions to follow. So, ayaw lang po ng complicated kayo, no? Kay mga bata pa man. So, dili kayo sila. Kuan. Simple instructions, simple to follow. And ask your child to repeat the instructions back to you para mas masabtan nila. And gradually increase the number of steps based on how many your child can follow. For example, go to your room, get your hairbrush and a towel. So, inana siya. Next, reading and book-based activities also. So there are also reading books, and in school age also read stories and then talk about them. So what was your favorite part of the story? So unsay part nga paborito kanimo sa story? So inana jud na in every storytelling ni teacher, no? What is what is your favorite part of the story? So yeah, ma'am, ako ma'am, my favorite part of the story is katong happy sila nagkasal na sila ma'am, wala pa yung mga katong wala na yung mga problem. So who was your favorite character also ma'am? Katong yung bida ako ang ma'am kay dili ko ganata. So by simply asking, by simply answering also, you're letting them to develop their anang ilahang speaking skills og ang ilahang kanang kumpiyansa sa ilang kaugalingon, ilang confidence. You're boosting their confidence also by simply asking. They are going to answer it immediately. So also take turns reading. You could read half the page while your child reads the other half too. So sharing sa pagbasa, it could help everybody too. And you could also point out single words here and there for your child to sound out. Okay, by this one, hinahinayan nimo siya og pasunod sa mga kung anong saon ni pag-pronounce. Okay. Start with the words that are easy to go out. So for example, 2 letters lang. So like this one, math. 3 words naman ni siya. So kung 2 letters, on or sip, or kung 3 letters, bat, may na simple words lang, on, in, and pag 2 letters siya, pag 3 letters na siya, himo naman siyang word, no? So that is a mat, a bat, and ana. Try alphabet books with younger school age children. So ask your child to tell you words that start with the same sound as the letter looking at. Ask your child to make a storybook, and you have child draw the pictures. Your child can do this on computer and with pens and paper also. So help your child write the words or at least some of the letters in the story. So inana siya, inana ka simple ang buhaton, no? it also develops the speaking skills, the writing skills, and the reading skills of the students. So when you're out and about, as your child to pick out or sound out letters or words in a billboard, shop fronts, street signs, or items at the same time. So sa gikaingon ako ganun by simply looking at the billboards, the signs, the street signs, and the symbols in the supermarket or in the railroads. So mag-learn sila na ay learning gihapon. So makabasa sila and na sila yung mga learnings makuha. So there is also drawing and writing literacy activities for the school age. Select a few alphabet letters and move them around to make new sounds, bat, tab, abd, and see which of them are real words. So inani o papangita niyo siya, asa ka ang real words na? So, unsa ka ni ang ABT. So, murag mali ni siya. So makita nila dayon na mabasa siya. So that is the word kanang duha ka buo. So practice sounding them out letter by out and saying the word, for example, B-A-T, bat. It makes the words bat. Start with lowercase letters, of course, so you don't confuse yourself with the two different letter shapes for each sounds. Get some alphabet letters, magnets, and keep them out of the fridge for your child to make words with. As your child learns to read, leave messages for your child and encourage your child to do the same. Encourage your child also to write their name and the names of other family members in greeting cards and or pictures. Once your child can use all the letters well, they'll be ready for uppercase and lowercase or capitals and small letters. Yes, of course. So encourage your child to write shopping list or restaurant again. Pretend na nag-play, so it's still nakabasa sila o makabalo pa sila how to spell the word and read. Point on different types of print without when you're out about with your child. For example, shop signs or movie again. Ask your child to make you a book with a word on one side of the page and picture that word on the other side. So, pwede po siya ingon ana. Next is we are going to tackle sa mga 5 ka genres, which is the stories up to the fiction, kung ako masayop. So, let's have first the stories. So, sample ways to help literacy development of a young learner. So, as teacher Miranda told you already, what is this story all about, or what is a story? So, first in stories, ang makadevelop or the sample ways to develop literacy developments of a young learner or children is the storytelling, of course. By simple storytelling, it will help the development of the young learner by just simply listening. So in listening, they gain knowledge. They gain by comprehending the words, the actions, ang mga panghitabo, the happenings of the story. So it also helps the literacy development. So next is encourage them to read. So by encouraging them to read, it will help also to develop literacy skills. Why? Because in reading, they gain another or new knowledge, new ideas, new vocabularies. They are going, they will, yes, more ideas. They get more ideas. Asking them which part they like most again, giving them a scenario and let them to explain. So in any part o, for example, let's scenario. Naunsa galit siya nga part dito. So teacher, that is the happenings mo ni mo na. So the student will be developed in the boost their confidence, the knowledge. They're going to they express it immediately. So by that, simply by that, you are developing or molding the students to develop their speaking skills. Asking them if what they learn also, draw and writing skills and role playing. So of course, kaning role playing, di na siya mawala by simply doing the action, doing your part as one of the role player. So nasabta na to ang about in story. So inani siya naatay learning. So inani yung panghitabo, inani yung mga happenings. So there is understanding. Ang comprehension, developed kaayo siya. The actions, Ang fine motor skills, ginagbay mga actions lakaw-lakaw or palihok sa mga kamot. So, ayun ana siya. Next is riddles. So, in riddles, so remember, riddles can help children from associations or relations link ideas and think, be creative, and make conclusions, all of which are good ways of learning and remembering things quickly with ease. So ngano ka nga kaning riddles kay naglink siya og kanang creativity or naghatag og creativity to make conclusions. Yes, because riddles is kanang tagna-tagna. So ganahan man kayo mga bata ani bisan kita no before way back before ganahan kayo ta aning mga riddles nya dili pa jud ni makadaot no kay we learn as well as na enjoy pag jud no nga magkuan dayon ang bata ang creativity or ang iyang panghuna-huna mas mapapaspas pa gid siya because trying to explain man trying to get some answer unsa kay answer ato siya ingon ani ang riddles unsa kay answer ato no magbalo na dayon og kuan sa utok padagan sa brain sa inana siya nindot kayo ang riddles simple ra kayo ang riddles but dako kay siya matabang in every student or in every learner. The sample ways also to develop a young learner. Answer the given riddle, of course. Peer group game of answering riddles, so very fun kaayo. Let them explain why it is was the answer. So ngano ka mo ni answer? Yes, it is because mauni ang gihatag niya sa riddle. So tukma man pud siya. Sakto man pud siya. And letting them make their own riddle. So in letting them mas makathink pa jud sila into deeper nga mga ideas bag-o na pud niya para makabuhat og own riddle nila. So inaana siya no simple kaayo pero dako kay siyang matabang. So for example, let's have the example. It is so fragile that if you say its name, you break it. So what is it? So fragile kuno kayo siya no that if kung imo siyang isulti diretso ikaw pa mismo ang makabuak sa imong pagsulti na buak na nimo siya. So unsa ka na siya no? So the answer is silence. So pareha gud anang so hilom mo kung musinggit ka while saying it while saying anything nga pahilomon sila. So you're breaking the rule. Nga maghilom. You are the one nga naghatag og noise. So because kanang mag-istorya man gud ta dili pud ta makakuan dayon diretso klabo nagkabalo ta mo istorya no kay ang mga special syempre mag symbol lang man sila no mga action lang man ilaha but then katong maka-istorya is musinggit man gud dayon mo istorya so that is why. So I have a head, I have a tail. Another one. I have a head, I have a tail, but I do not have a body. So I am neither a lizard nor a snake. Then guess what I am? So the answer is I am a coin. Diba? When we are going to play, so which one? Head or the tail? So I am the head, so which is the kanang front, and the tail or sa kanang likod. So, pero wala siya body. Wala siya head and tail nga gitawag. So that is a coin. So makapano na din sa bata, mo ba? Inana din siya, no? So, you help, or riddle helps everybody to kanang think deeper pa jud ba? So, think outside the box. Think outside the box by simply doing the riddle or playing the riddle. So, think outside the box kayo ang iyahang status. So, next, the third one is the poem. So, poetry. So, again, I will read this meaning even if nabasa na ni Teacher Miranda. Poetry is a bridge or kanang tulay kun siya that connects children to the relevance of writing. Of course, relation man gid siya kay poetry is going how will you make your poetry if you're not going to write? So you're going to write the poetry you want to say or you want to do or you want to make. So reading. Next is reading and learning. So when we are going to do the poetry, we are going to write or read and then learning that will follow. Honesty in community. Why there is this honesty? It is because by writing simple poetry or a poem, you are going to express your ideas, what you want to express. So for example, that is the poem and the content or the fact inside the poem is this one. So I want to write the poem in this way to express my feelings or emotions. So also, writing a poem is just like writing a song. So there are so many types of the poems, but there are so many times in a poem, but uh, we can say there is this uh, free 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 will, or katong naka-rhyme jud kay siya, katong by number siya sa five diri ka words, the next stanza again and again. So inana siya. And next is poems for the kids. So there is this poem for the kids. Poem for the kids. So there is this example. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. February has 28 alone. All the rest have 31, excepting leap year. That's the time when February days are 29. Okay, that's from the author Anonymous. Okay, love between siblings. Let's have this from Isaac Watts. Whatever brawls disturb the street, there should be peace at home. Where sisters dwell and brothers meet, quarrels should never come. Birds in their little nest degrees, and this shameful sight when children of one family fall out and chide and fight. So, inana siya. Inana makatabang ang poem. So, expressing, by just simply expressing the ideas or the emotions that the writer wants to say, dili man panitan no in a poem dili man siya ingon nga kanang musinggit siya no or mo gusto siya mo istorya sa iyang emotions or feelings kanya isod, but through writing ang iyang paagi. So ang mga readers lang ang magbasa ato, so by that na-express niya ang iyang writing skills. So the literacy advantage, there is this literacy in writing a poem, there is literacy advantage. So we all know how powerful music is that, and the effect it has on human brain. Of course, especially the young brains. When you recite the poem to your child, you are introducing them to phonemic awareness. So why? It is because ang intonation insakto, ang pronunciation na adito. So in doing or reciting a poem, your child or every child tudluan man na siya no kung unsaon pag basa, what is the right intonation of that word, the right pronunciation of that word that you are going to say para nindot siya paminaw. So very helpful. Short poems helps kids understand speech, tone, volume, and voice modulation. So yes, unsay pitch ana siya, unsay tono, unsay gikusgon ang modulation sa voice of that of every simple words, thus building their phonemic awareness, which is in isolation to poetry is quite a task to develop, of course. Dili lang po siya yung magud kasi yun basahon, but helpful kaayo siya sa bata. Labaw na katong mga lover kaayo ani, or katong naga-recite yun every kanang na ay mga patimpalak in the school or mga contests. Sa inana siya kanindot, or the advantage sa literacy development. So next, yes, the vocabulary. So poems for kids work like magic. Why? Because first short and rhyming structures, poems helps kids grasp new words by correlating the new words with the rhyming partners. So they could acquire new learnings and vocabulary. So in poem, in reading poem, there is this new words every time we read poems, or the kids read poems. So this greatly helps children in remembering new words and deciphering, when we say deciphering or breaking out their their contextual meaning, also increase their vocabulary, of course, always. Memory skills is the third one. So the rhythmic structure of poems makes it easier for kids to remember them. of course, dali man gud ma-memorize sa mga bata no kung naay mga rhyme. So that is why ang memory skill sa bata mas paspasiya. The rhythmic structure of poems makes it easier for kids to remember them. Your children, when presented in a poem, can easily memorize something like days of the week. So that is why, no, in ani ra gani ang sa poem, no, basa-basa, samot na gani, labaw na sa rhyme, maka-remember na ang bata. So samot na into a song. So dali kayo na to ma-remember like ano mga songs sa nursery rhymes, no? Tagas kayo ng ubang stanzas, but then, through the sound, dali kayo na to siya ma-remember. Besides these striking advantages, poems for kids also work on their listening, comprehension, and writing skills, of course. Simply put, simple short poems are powerful too to nurture a child's brain while having fun. Why nurture man? Ko kahinahinay, no? Slowly, gipa-learn man siya. Ang brain sa bata slowly nag-nurture. So, because of these ways, this is help to nurture the child's brain. Well, nagkuan pa sila, naglingaw pa jud sila. With this thought in mind, we have compiled a list of 15 beautiful, inspiring, thought-provoking poems. Though some of them are not really short, but we are certain you and your children will love them, and certain you may choose to recite a few selected paragraphs to make them short. So there are also sample ways to help literacy development of a young learner. So encourage to read a poem also. So intercept new words, write their ideas about the poem. So by this simply no, balik-balik lang yun siya kaayo. To is encourage them to read a poem, intercept new words to para ma-add silang vocabulary, and they're going to write their idea about the poem or the message of the poem. So in simply kaayo inana makita dito nga inani ang meaning. So, dako kayo siya og matabang. And next is we have also the 5 general this should be types of children's literature. So again, this is a poetry, is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story in a concentrated lyrical arrangement of words. Poems can be structured with rhyming lines and meter. So there are lines, there are rhyming lines again, and a meter, and the rhythm and emphasis of a line based on a syllabic beats. Poems can also be free form, so which follows no formal structure. So example in poetry literature, I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. So simple kay siya but very powerful. So there is these rhyming lines and a meter. So pila ka siya katason, pila ka words ang naa. So yun ana. So pwede pud siya free form rather, free form. So depende kung unsay gusto sa writer nga paagi. So there are many kanang types of writing a poetry. So pwede siya free form, pwede katong naka-numbering siya. Next, let's have next the fiction. The fiction texts are created from the imagination and include made-up stories with characters. So a setting and a plot from the author's own imagination. So, mo ni siyang fiction. Some examples of fiction texts would include picture books, novels, and classic fairy tales, to name a few. For example, fairy tales, poetry plays, and novels. So those are also the types. And a popular types of fiction, find the genre of fiction for your students. So a lot of the mainstream genre fiction that you will find in your reading corner and school libraries will fall into common and popular types of fiction according to the genre. So genre is the style of category of a book. And as a writer, genre controls what you write and how you are going to write it. It describes the styles and focus of the novel you write. Genres give you blueprints for different types of stories. These different genres will appeal to the different readers in your classroom. Read more about these different genres to find the best types of fiction books to get your children excited about reading and writing. So, ina naka-powerful po ang fiction. So, mo man atong favorite, which is the fiction. So, there is type of the fiction, which is the adventure stories, the crime and detective fiction, and thriller. There's also thriller and fantasy. So mo ni favorite kaayo sa mga bata, which is the fantasy. Lastly is the science fiction. So inana siya daghan na siya type. So first is the adventure stories. Adventure stories are tales also that often include something exciting and extraordinary. Why it is exciting and extraordinary? Because it is adventurous. The scene or the the happenings of the story is adventurous, often a quest or mission. So, inana siya, nasa mga buhatunon or mga apsunon, which is the mission. A good adventure story has the ability to draw your children into a world in time they would have otherwise never been able to explore. Because adventure stories are so immersive, they will have no idea that they are learning as they go. So, I teacher, that is the story, that is the happenings. I guess that will the next one to be happen in the story. So they are learning. So their imagination is so wide. They are catching new ideas, which is to grasp the best happening para sa ilang gibasa nga adventure story. So hinay ra kay siya, inana siya pagibat, they have no idea that they are already learning. Next one is the crime and the detective fiction. So in this fiction, detective and crime fiction is the classic whodunit story, and readers can help solve a crime or mystery with vibrant characters. So detective stories are a popular genre in which a crime is introduced and investigated and the culprit is revealed. So ganahan kayo tara. Mostly this kind of fiction is nahitabo siya in Korean dramas. No? Not just in Korean but so many movies or kanang stories nga mabasa nato, which is a perfect example of this crime and detective fiction. So the third one is the thriller fiction. So this is a great for your adventurous and imaginative readers. They often include dark storylines, high stakes, and suspenseful plot-driven stories. So diri na tong mga kasus mga suspenseful kaayo nga mga happenings in the stories. And next is the fantasy, which is the favorite of everybody or mostly the children. So fantasy is a type of fiction that typically taking inspiration from myth and legend. So I sa mga mito, which is kanang gamit kayo ang atong imagination. So it is a set of fictional universe and features supernatural characters and mystical creatures. Diri na tong mga powerful kaayo nga mga bida mo na itong mga paborito kayo. Fantasy fiction stories are wonderful escape from the norm and reality, of course. So in this fiction, no, we can see. So we can this is our favorite or mostly the children in our school, no, kay it is very imaginary. The story is all about a colorful imagination because the characters are very powerful. The happenings was very magical. It is very different with in reality because there is this power. This is what makes them so popular with the children and adults alike. So of course. So the last one is the science fiction. It is often shortened to sci-fi, as in it is a genre of fiction that's usually set in space or in the future. So it can include spaceships, astronauts, machines, robots, and aliens. So the perfect example of this one is that like that the Resident Evil. So there is this happenings, the technology gamit kay siya, the scientific kanang mga ginagamit nila sa ilahang mga mission no, not just the Resident Evil, daghan pa jud kaayo siya, like kanang mga astronauts, spaceships, mga aliens, katong mga salida nga alien no. This is the perfect example or they belong to science fiction. So science fiction also stories are often about exploring new worlds. So inventing new imaginary scientific. So daghan kaayo example aning niya kay uh, exploring new worlds, inventing new imaginary scientific technology, or having an adventure in space. Science fiction stories are great for your inquisitive and thrill-seeking students. So katong mga curious kay nga mga tao that they love so much in this kind of fiction, the science fiction. And there are examples of fiction also. So what are the three types? So novels and fiction poems tend to fall into the three broad categories, which is the literary fiction, genre fiction, and mainstream stream fiction. But what does this mean? So literary fiction tends to follow non-conventional plot structures. This type of fiction usually uses heavy symbolism and deeper meanings. Examples of literary fiction are often viewed as more advanced or more serious than here, and mainstream fiction instead of focusing on a plot of story. In literary fiction, the character and their development is the prominent feature. So it is very clear. And reading literary fiction focuses on the experiences, development, and beliefs of the main character that we follow through a story. So a story arc and traditional plot may or may not even be present, which also means that a satisfying ending is no guarantee. Types of literature fiction also includes the contemporary literary fiction, realistic literary fiction, experimental literary fiction, and philosophical literary fiction. Next is genre fiction. It is one of the most popular types of fiction. Why? Because uh, students will come across fiction traditionally includes genres such as romance, no, dari na to ba sa mga romantic kaayo. These are a genre fiction. Mystery, thriller, horror, or fantasy. And children's books, you can read more about the different genres that you can try out above. These types of fiction and often are bestsellers that you can find in the shelves of high street shops, and like literary fiction. So kato ni mga Precious Hearts romances before sikat pa kay si PHR, and the plot and storylines of the main focus of these books are mainly written first for purpose of entertainment. So ma-entertain kayo ta. And the mainstream fiction. When a fiction novel or a genre novel becomes massively popular beyond its intended and core audience, attracting new readers and bestseller status, it is considered an example of mainstream fiction. So every type of fiction has the potential to become mainstream fiction. So tanan. Next, again, the riddle. So here we are again. So kabalo naman ta, what is a riddle? Riddles are questions or statements that offer a puzzle to be solved. They often involve critical thinking on the reader's part in order to figure out the answer, and this offers challenging entertainment. So again, a popular children's riddle is, what is black and white and red all over? So can my answer to this riddle are an embarrassed zebra or a newspaper. So another one is, feed me and I'll live, yet give me a drink and I die. So answer is a fire. So if you are going to feed a fire, so makahuna-huna ang bata, no, they're going to remember or to think carefully nga unsa ka no, what is the right answer of feed me and I'll live. So pakanon siya and mabuhi pa siya. But then if you are going to give it or if you're going to give a drink or a water, it will die. So what is the right answer? So the best one is the fire. Yes, because the fire, if you're going to put anything on the fire, if you're going to feed it up, the fire will go bigger or go wide. And if you are going to give water to the fire, to put water in the fire, it will definitely stop. So that means it will die. So there's the critical thinking or the mental of the students will be, the mental skills of the students will be developed again. So through these riddles, the literacy development of the students will be developed. So the critical thinking skills of the students is being developed. So third example, what is the big and yellow and comes in the morning to brighten mom's day? So that is school bus daw. So what is big and yellow and comes in the morning to brighten mom's day? So it is because ang mama or the mother will send the baby or their children to the highways to wait the big yellow bus. Okay, and it brightens the mom's day or the mother's day. So there are types of the riddles also. Here is the enigma and the conundrum. So enigmas are types of riddles that employ the use of allegorical or metaphorical devices. So these riddles involve critical thinking and ingenuity on the solver's behalf in order to devise solutions. So for example, I have a tail and a body, but I am not a snake. What am I? So the answer is coin. So enigma ang tawag siya, which is ang riddle or ang kanang patag na that is involved critical thinking or kanang murag dili bitaw kanang murag iyang ingenuity and the solver's behalf kay kanang murag magduwa siya ba nga kanang unsa ka nino why it has a tail and a body but it is not a form of a living kanang things, no, na siya tail. I have a tail in a body but I am not a snake, so what am I? So the answer is coin. So ang gitawag sa next one is the conundrum. Conundrum. A conundrum is a riddle that relies on the use of puns in order to achieve its desired effect. So example, what kind of a tree can you carry in your hand? So answer, palm tree. Sa conundrum ang tawag daan na kanabitaw mga very clear na kaayo, just like kanang can you carry in your hand. So palm tree, mura bitaw siya kanang there is kanang murag ipakita bitaw nga kanang parihaan ni ako na kind of tree that you can carry in your hand. So another term of a hand is the front of the hand is the palm. So palm tree, there is this kanang sign or symbol. So muna siya gitawag og conundrum. So there are only two types, which is the enigma and conundrum. So again, next one is the stories, or what is a story? So a story, it is said already it is being tackled already by Miss Miranda. So it is a story, is a narrative, is a connected series of events told through words written or spoken. I will not read it all again and again. Okay, we already know what is the story, and I will include this one from oral and written storytelling or journalism. This is makita jud nato ni siya in TV and in film and radio, the fine arts, stage performance, which is in the theater, and music and so on. So there is a story. Diha nato siya tanan makita. And there are examples of this story. You can sometimes, so bisan pag wala ta example, no, we still know what is the story. And okay, there is this drama. Okay, drama also belong to the 5 genres. So drama, or the definition of the drama, is a mode of fictional representation through dialogue. So one was a fictional representation. The drama also, there is this happenings that is, it is being happened of the reality of people's or personal lives happenings. So it is represented through dialogue and performance also. It is one of the literary genres which is an imitation of some action. Drama is also a type of a play written for theater, television, radio, and film. In simple words, drama is composition in verse or prose, presenting a story in pantomime or dialogue. It contains also conflict of characters. So that is a drama. So we already know what is a drama. So kana makita nato sa TV nga mga dramas, which is katong mga daghan kaayog happenings in life nga makita nato sa mga characters and particularly the ones who perform in front of an audience on the stage. So, mga kanang atong mga artista maayo kaayo ana. And the person who writes drama for the stage directions is known as dramatist or a playwright. Okay. So, ang tawag nato sa tao, which is who writes the drama, is the dramatist or the playwright. So, that is when makabantay ta na ay playwright gid every last part sa mga sulat or unsa pa nato makita. So, muna nagpasabot sa mga writers na sila. So, examples of drama literature. So, Match Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. Okay, number 2 is Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. So, tragedy. Okay. Tragedy, Sophocles' mythical immortal drama, Oedipus Rex is thought to be his best classical tragedy. So, what is tragedy? Kanang mga dago kay mga panghitabo na jud. Mga trahedya. And the play arouses emotions of pity and fear and achieves tragic catharsis. It shows the downfall of an extraordinary man of high rank, Oedipus. The central character suffers due to his tragic error called hamartia, as he murders his real father Lawis or Laius, and then marries his real mother Jocasta. Hubris is the cause of Oedipus' downfall. So, muna siya mga grabe kay mga panghitabo. Very tragic. So, it is part of a drama also. And number 3 is a farce. So, Oscar Wilde's play The Importance of Being Earnest. It is a very popular example of the Victorian farce. In this play, a man uses two identities. One of the serious persons, Jack, his actual name, which he uses for Cecily, his ward, and his rogue named Ernest for his beloved woman, Gwendolen. And luckily, Gwendolen loves him partially because she loves the name Ernest. It is when Jack and Ernest must come on stage together for Cecily. Then Algernon. So, in ani ang farce, no? So, let us see what is farce. So, farce is, para makabalot sa meaning, no? Farce is literary genre and type of comedy. So, comedy dahil siya. That makes us of highly exaggerated and funny situation aimed for entertaining the audience. So, sa siya katawanan dahil siya. And, next one is a melodrama. So, sa sakuan sa mga drama. So, an example is from Henry James of the Washington Square. So, melodrama is kanang parag something nahitabo bitaw sa kanang mga characters bitaw in real life, mga ginagmay lang ang mga panghitabo. So, that is a melodrama. Like kanang ma-fall in love, in ano siya, mga simple. A function of drama. So, drama is one of the best literary forms through which dramatists can directly speak to their readers and their audience. Of course, by reading, by letting them to read your drama or your written book or story. So, the dramatist can speak directly to the readers. The readers also will acquire knowledge, new ideas, learnings, new vocabularies, comprehensions are being molded. So they can receive instant feedback from audiences, of course. If dramatists use their characters as a vehicle to convey their thoughts and values, such as poets do with personas and novelists do with narrators. Since drama uses spoken words and dialogues, thus the language of characters plays a vital role, as it may give clues to their feelings, personalities, backgrounds, and changes in feelings. And in dramas, characters live out the story without any comments of the author, providing the audience a direct presentation of the character's life experiences. So that is the function of the drama. So daghan kay siya, not just one but many. So kaning And the vital role, it may give the clues to their feelings. So, mga taugluan, maura bitog mag-trigger sa utok sa mga readers, the personality backgrounds, and change of the feelings and emotions. So, dili man nato ma-deny no that while we are reading, so ma-feel pud nato ang emotion sa atong gibasa, we will apply it into it. So, yun, maglagot jud ko sa bida. I mean sa kanang kontrabida kay gikuan niya ang bida. So, yun ana mga experiences. The synonyms of drama. The closest synonyms of drama is, muna na itong gitawag og play, show, spectacle, dramatization, screenplay, stage performance, theatrics, and etc. And it's mostly associated with stage play, a theater play, or a television play. So that is the synonyms of drama. And that is the end of my report. I am hoping that uh, you will you understand my report. I am hoping that every examples that I gave was clear, and thank you for listening. And that would be all. Thank you again. Thank you.